Cemetery Fence Part 2. So now I have completed, as you saw in my previous video, the 5 sections of my cemetery fence that I've made out of styrofoam. Includes the grout lines, etc. And I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. Now we're moving on to the second part, which is detailing the cemetery walls to give them a little bit more realistic look. Again, I'm not an expert. This is the first time I've ever attempted this, so I definitely look forward to your feedback or suggestions. That being said, also, I am not a professional at all, so please do all of these tasks at your own risk. Take safety precautions and have fun. So, as I said before, I have finished the 5 sections of the cemetery wall, and now I'm ready to detail them. So, just a quick reminder, this is what the cemetery walls currently look like. As you can see, they're 3 foot high, and they have a ledge on them that's a foot wide. Now, they are false walls. They are not completely 100%. Much like you would see in a Wild West or movie or something like that, the prop is just front facing. I did that for lightweight, ease of storage, and just a lot of flexibility. And most importantly, to cut costs. I had a very limited budget for this. I was originally going to attempt to do the typical cemetery fence with the PVC piping and all of that. Didn't have enough money. So this is what I came up with my own ideas to save costs. And it actually is very affordable, but it does take a little time. So anyway, here's the wall. As you can see, it's a false wall. Now, we're ready to detail it, and that is to make this wall look a little bit more realistic and aged, like it hasn't been cared for a very long time. A couple supplies that you're going to need for this is some kind of tarp to put on your floor to protect your basement floor or whatever area it is you're painting in. And secondly, you will need a glue gun, just a typical glue gun. These are very cheap, find them at any hardware store. Glue sticks, which you can see sticking out of the back of there. As I said, my first video, I would get a big bag, even 2 large bags, as you will use a lot of hot glue for this, but it's still very cheap. You will need some just base white latex paint. I bought this at Ace Hardware on a rack where it was just clearance. Somebody tried it, wasn't the right paint, cost me $4. Flat black spray paint. I bought about 5 bottles of this, and then a variety of green. This is a little bit darker green, and then I have a lighter green spray paint to kind of help with the aging process. So first thing I do, here's the section I'm starting on, is I simply just take the black spray paint and spray in the grooves. And I'll just do it quick for you. This doesn't need to be neat. Overspray is okay. It'll actually help with the aging process. So you just simply take your black paint and find the grout lines and just spray. Make some dark, some light, just so it kind of stands out. And get some underneath the roof, because this is where it's going to age. Across the top. And then do the same thing across the top of the grout lines. Just like that. So that's just for the sake of this demonstration. I will come back and do a little cleanup on that. But I just wanted you to get an idea of how you start the base. Once that is done, I then begin to kind of fill in some of the brick area. See, it's too white. If a fence was really this old, it wouldn't be this white. So what you want to do is you want to kind of darken it up a little bit to give it more of an aged presence. Again, just kind of spray far away. I'm about 15 inches away, and just start lightly misting. Again, create some dark areas for depth, but again, just keep it very light. And don't worry about if you get areas too dark. The technique we'll be using will also add multiple layer textures, like so. And there you have the base of the age, as you can see that. Just add a little more here, some areas that are just a little too bright. And like I said, don't worry about if it's too light. So what you do next, I'm come get my paint. And you just take your brush. This is a cheap little brush that I bought at the dollar store. And you're just going to dry brush it. We're just going to dip it in the water, in the paint. Take a little off. And you just want to wildly just kind of go in the grooves. And then you use that white and it kind of lifts. It starts to lift the stone. Give it more of a three-dimensional. And this is kind of fun because you can just be really as sloppy as you want. Darker areas, you can add just a little more paint to it if you want to brighten it up a little bit. Doesn't have to be even. You don't want it to be even. You want it to kind of jump out off the black. And I kind of form some patterns. You see it's got the straight lines, and then what I do is I blend them. Just like that. Just like that. And you keep doing that over the whole board. And I'm not going to do the whole board, but I'm just going to do a few more little areas here, just to make sure you have a good idea. See how it kind of lifts out the edges? Kind of gives you that three-dimensional feel. It's absolutely perfect. Really on the edges is where you want it, in the grooves a little bit where it's uneven. See, it just kind of lifts that out. Just like that. And like I said, I'm not going to finish this whole board on the video, but I just wanted you to have a good idea of what it should look like. After that, then you will grab your moss and your hot glue gun. And I already have a bag of moss opened. Sorry for the camera, guys, sorry. And just simply take the peat moss out of the bag and you shape it any way you want. It doesn't take a lot. Just take it, kind of roll it a little bit, and then ruffle it up. And then you lay it, put it on the board where you want it. And then glue that on with the hot glue gun. Just like so. And I'm not just going to bother with the glue right now. Then you just kind of pick where at on the fence you think you would have moss. And when you're done, and you'll have a better idea what I'm talking about, your panel should look something like this. You see the moss. It's kind of grown out of the fence. And again, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. This is going to be outside in the dark. They do nighttime trick-or-treating here. But you can see the stones have some wear and age on them. See a little bit better picture here. And like this fence, looking at it this way, I'm just going to probably darken it up a little bit in some areas. It's a little too white. Like in this area down here, I'm going to add a little white. But it gives you the general idea of what you can look like. So that's where I'm at right now. That's my first panel. Again, it's not 100%. I just got to add some more details to it. But it gives you an idea of what it can look like. So far, I had a $200 budget when I started this project, and minus the paint, all the styrofoam, and what I've spent so far, I still have about 30-40 bucks left, and that's including buying extra things that were not a part of this project, actually. Some latex for makeup, etc. So I'm still well within my budget, and I've almost got my fence completely done. So hope you enjoy that. Part 3 will basically just kind of show you the final product. And then I'll also include some tombstones from last year, but I'm going to dress them up a little bit more this year. A couple of before and afters. And then we'll go from there. So hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you in part 3.